So Antifa are actually finding out. Let's get it.
Funny how these Antifa types feign like they'd actually fight the military, but when faced with the slightest amount of consequence, they tremble like a small lapdog. As again, in Portland, Oregon, these activists protest American borders while waving foreign flags.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. If literally these people will wave a foreign flag while burning the American flag and then want people to literally accept their movement. Excuse me, but we're in America. If I see anybody burning the flag while raising the flag of another country, I instinctively think that they are the problem. Instinctively. It makes no sense. I think I'm underneath foreign occupation. I'm like, am I being invaded here? Are they taking over? Is Mexico finally doing an attack? What's going on? Like, I literally, I don't see how they think that this even agrees with their movement in the slightest. You can call for like immigration all you want. You can call for legal migration all you want, but to stand on illegal immigration, say that the country should open its borders, say that it should be accepting to all, is literally so deranged and nonsensical and so far from reality that I don't see how you can ever win another election, if I'm being honest. This little bitch starts shaking like a scared dog. Yeah, I know. He literally just shit on him.
Countries that definitely enforce their own borders.
Yep.
Then these idiots...
Yeah, Mexico's not going to let me come in illegally. If I go into Mexico illegally, they're going to deport my fucking ass. Like, are you kidding me? Like, we've gone to the extent of suicidal empathy where these people are pleading for cartel members not to be deported. Cartel members. Are you kidding me? This is another example of what I was saying, that sometimes if you feed a starving dog, sometimes you're feeding a starving dog simply so that it can bite you. And in reality, you shouldn't be giving them any power. But pleading for a literal MS-13 member to stay within the country because he's quote unquote legal in the country from the asylum system that they're literally abusing. People don't care. I don't care if you're on a visa. If you're a part of a gang, get the fuck out. You're not an American citizen. Why should you be clogging up our jails?
I think red paint would change anything.
Yeah. I put this in my video the other day. This dude actually ended up getting arrested. It was so freaking hilarious.
As this specific guy placed the paint all over his hands, later acting tough towards the police.
Yep.
Except in the very next night, he was finally arrested.
Yep. Oh my God. Fuck around and find out. Holy shit. He's scared now. Oh my goodness, dude. You guys remember whenever China used to put paint in the water cannons? So whenever they hit them with the water cannon with paint, they could recognize who they were later on. You guys remember that? China was literally just like hitting the protesters with like painted water so they could recognize them later. Like Antifa are literally just doing it themselves. They're just like marking themselves for later capture.
Hell yeah, bro.
With Bill Malusian showing us he's not so tough now.
He's scared now, dude. Oh, now he's fucked up. I get it, dude. You literally just fucked up your whole life. You literally just fucked up your whole life over something so stupid. I get it. You shouldn't have been there. You shouldn't have been there. But you wanted to do that. You wanted to shove a police officer. You wanted to paint that shit all over your face and go running around acting like you were tough. You wanted to harass police officers. You wanted to harass reporters. You wanted to literally push a police officer. That's an attack. That's an assault. I get it. You're scared. You fucked your whole life up. I get it. Feels bad, man.
As these cosplay revolutionaries can only be bold when they're well protected from actual consequence, where of course Portland, Oregon will tolerate their unemployed antics when they're acting on behalf of the Democrats as almost their unofficial brown shirts, where when they have numbers they'll confront journalists like Nick Sorter.
That's the dude that was just arrested, by the way. That's the one we just covered. He was just arrested for defending himself and for taking an American flag out of their hand that they were burning, by the way, which they should not be allowed to do. So damn tough. And then, yeah, he's going to federal pound. Yeah, exactly.
No, I will put your mouth open, motherfucker.
Act tough when they're shouting at Savannah Hernandez.
Yep.
Camera out of my face.
Relax.
I don't care. Get your
Wow. Okay.
Shut the up. Sure, file it.
What?
And even after actually attacking Katie Davis Court, continuing to taunt her.
Why don't you grow some balls to stop being a
Yeah, that's after they literally hit Katie in the face with a flagpole, blacked her eye, blacked it. I'll show you it. It blacked her eye. They hit her in the face. They then followed them to this building where this man runs this like little apartment for all the Antifa members. They got her face on camera. They found out who it was. Antifa tried to protect her the whole way. And when Katie went to the Portland police, they would not file charges against her. The lady that hit her in the face. They would not file charges. They would not press charges. No justice whatsoever. The Portland police are fully colluding with Antifa. They stand on the sidelines while people get harassed and assaulted for simply being there. And then they do nothing.
snowflake.
As this is likely because they actually have police protection.
Exactly.
Mayor and
Exactly.
City Council
Exactly.
largely block police from responding to any violence at ICE's building. Take a listen.
There have been folks that have been assaulted right down here on the street, even
Yep.
across the street, and it takes Portland police a while to respond, or sometimes they don't respond.
We did see multiple verbal scuffles almost get to the point of physical confrontations, all while the Portland police liaisons were standing just across the street watching everything.
It's
but
ridiculous
deciding
is what
not
it
to
is. It's
intervene.
insane.
And that, in part, is why President Trump has said he is sending the National Guard here to Portland. He
Yeah.
says the local
If the police will not protect the citizens, if the police are not protecting the citizens, and they're letting Antifa, an organized group, undermine a federal building, a federal facility, and federal workers, and terrorize them in an unlawful manner, send the National Guard. Send the Guard. Make it stop. Show them what... Sorry about that. That's me, not you. Show them what law and order actually means. But why would anyone do this? It is common sense, because they're so far deranged and so far excluded themselves from reality that they are nowhere even near the realm of common sense anymore. They're not anywhere near it. So whenever you try to have some common sense argument with them, like Charlie Kirk did, so whenever you try to offer common sense and a difference of opinion, they don't hear it. They think good is evil and evil is good. They cannot have their mind changed. They have fully outsourced their morality to somebody else. That someone else is deciding what they think, what they believe. And if that someone else tells them that you are the problem, that you are evil, that you're a fascist, that you're a Nazi, then that's what to them, that's what you're going to be. If the police won't do shit, I'd be taking matters into my own hands. Do you want to swap Trump for Starmer? No, fuck no. You keep Starmer, brother. You keep Starmer, okay? But why would anyone do that? They should face charges at the end of this chaotic circus. Exactly. Yes, they should. Common sense isn't common anymore. You're right. Having plain old sense is rare. Yeah, it is. It's absolutely a rarity in this day and age, for sure.
aren't doing their job.
So of course their sense of power and ability is artificially inflated, as the Portland police is practically the Fisher-Price version of law enforcement. But now that they're dealing with federal agents and federal charges, their bark suddenly doesn't have a bite, but a tiny shriveling whimper. And the same goes for equally liberal Chicago, as Operation Midway Blitz made over 900 arrests in Illinois.
Jesus.
So the usual suspects take to TikTok to suggest a civil war.
Oh my God.
ICE literally raided an entire apartment complex yesterday in Chicago. They banged on the doors, they ransacked people's apartments, and they got everybody out onto the street, all zip tied, and Anybody who had a warrant out for anything was detained, whether it was immigration related or not. Only those
Whether they had a warrant out for anything was detained. Like what?
warrants, and only those who were not immigrants were let go to go back into their house. They
because they're there to deport illegal immigrants. They are there to get rid of the illegal immigrants. Like what the?
Sieged an apartment complex. They sieged an apartment complex full of American citizens with full military gear and disappeared people from this apartment complex. What other parallels do you need? What do I even need to say what I'm paralleling to?
As they really think Chicago can stand up to the feds.
Hey,
This is
Ice,
ridiculous.
Come to the south side of Chicago.
Half of us would show up and it would already be over. Yeah, exactly. This is the issue. They think that they want a civil war, but the right has a far more ability to do violence than the left does. The left just has a higher proclivity to violence, meaning that they do violence more often. But the right, when the right does violence, it's bad. Okay, when the right does violence, they're the ones that are, the ex-soldiers, the ex-Marines, the ex-MARSOC. They're the special trained ones. Okay, they're the ones that actually have training. They have a higher ability to do violence. You don't want a civil war. The right doesn't want a civil war. The left, they might think they want a civil war, but they don't. The wordplay calling them undocumented immigrants is straight propaganda. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. They are illegal aliens. You are 100% right. They are not undocumented immigrants. The issue is they have abused the asylum system for so long. And they literally bring them in. 90% of them do not actually meet the requirements for asylum, and they put them in the asylum program anyway. And then they receive health benefits, pay monthly food stamps. So the American taxpayer is paying for their own demise. They're paying for the illegal immigrants to come through the border. They're paying to house them. They're paying for them to fully vote Democrat, and it's disgusting.
I promise you, we're going to keep our hands off of you. We're going to let you just throw people to the ground and tackle them. Yeah, we're not going to jump in and jump on you.
As the utter lack of law enforcement has completely deluded them.
What if groups of concerned citizens found out ICE agents' identities and then started kidnapping them when they were off the clock?
Are you kidding me?
We've seen these protesters prepare to fight, as I am almost certain if any of those...
Yeah, that was them training outside the ICE facility before they got absolutely fucking wrecked. They got destroyed. That was their training, was them pretending to push one another. That was their defensive training against ICE. Like, are you kidding me, dude? Are you? That's the people that want a civil war? Like, nah, thanks, nah.
Individuals actually took a swing at an ICE agent, ended up getting arrested, and then faced several years in federal prison, they'd be acting exactly like that other guy, completely blindsided by the concept of consequences. This recently played out in real time, also over in Portland.
Oh, the training didn't work. Oh, God, the training didn't work. The training didn't work. Plan B. Oh, my God, Plan B. The training did not work. Oh, shit. You trained for this, bro. You trained for this. Work.
How he just assumed he could shove a federal agent is beyond me. But the saddest part about all of this is this is just the final chapter in the book of fatherless behavior, as they never learn to not destroy your own community when you get emotional about border laws. They never had a strong father figure to tell them, local law enforcement to ever remind them, and not even common sense itself could ever teach them. This is not how adults act. But the local liberal politicians just utilize them as useful idiots, already knowing they could do nothing to protect them from federal prison.
Yeah,
and the first time
exactly.
they'll realize...
That's why they use such extreme language. There were Democratic politicians using fascism, like insane amounts of the word fascism, literally just yesterday. So they learned nothing from Charlie Kirk. This is what I mean. The word, so people should look up the term stochastic terrorism. They are literally using overly emotional, extreme language on purpose. purpose. They do it and they continue to do it. And then whenever their political violence is the outcome, they say, I deny and denounce any political violence. And then they continue to call you Hitler, to call you a Nazi, to call you fascist, to label you the most extreme thing that they can, so that these useful idiots might actually go and attack you. And that's what they want. That's what they instinctively want. Training fail, abort. Yeah, I know, right? Like, dude, he didn't have anybody in his corner. That was the problem. He didn't have anybody in his corner to remind him, plant your feet. Push him. Like, that was the worst training I've ever seen. They use it so much, it starts to lose its punch, though. Yeah, it does for us. It does for us normal people. But the issue is they're using it on people that it just affirms their belief. These people are like, oh, I've always thought he was Hitler. I think, see, he is a fascist. See, when I called him a fascist on Twitter and everybody said he wasn't, I was like, no, he's actually a fascist. And now my politician, my favorite politician, is saying he's a fascist. So see, he's a fascist. Like, that's what that's how it works. For us normal people, it loses its charm. We stop to even think about it. We just say, oh, they called us fascist again, or oh, they called him a Nazi again. Oh well, yeah, because people don't think for themselves. That's what I'm saying. They outsource their morality to their media, to their politicians, to their professors. And if the issue with doing that is, if any of those people, if any of the media, if any of the politicians or any of the professors have some malevolent idea, they can trick you into believing it's true because you've outsourced your morality to them. So whenever the politicians that have your morality dancing in the palm of their hand say that Donald Trump is Hitler, say that Donald Trump is a fascist, or say that Charlie Kirk, of all people who was a moderate, is a fascist, you instinctively believe it and you say, yeah, he deserved that. And that's why you see so many people on the left that literally think that political violence is an acceptable outcome. Like, that's just disgusting. That's insane. Call me whatever you want, but you can't call me wrong. Yeah, you can call me racist, but you can't call me wrong. Like, oh my God, blind faith and towing the line. Exactly. And then you get a bunch of politicians in office that run on social politics, run on this extreme language, and they get elected for who they align themselves with rather than for their policy. And so you get a bunch of incompetent fools that are in power. Incompetent and in power, the two most dangerous things you can have.
This reality is when they're already being dragged away in handcuffs. I don't know about you, but this is exactly what I voted for.
Yeah, same. Same.
So if you appreciate
oh my
concise,
God.
light order commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, subscribe to Decoy Voice.
Yep. Everybody go drop a sub over at Decoy Voice. I'll link the video.